Life to God or not, because you can't force someone to love God. You can't force someone to love anyone.
If you truly love your country, if you truly have any kind of patriotism whatsoever, if you want to make great America even greater, then you would vote for Tulsi Gabbard for president.
Our troops put their lives on the line for our country. Their sacrifice must be honored by sending them on missions that are worthy of their sacrifice.
So a bunch of bullshit came out about Tulsi when she just happened to mention that she's going to run for president. So she just happened to mention to Van Jones that she was going to run for president. It wasn't a formal announcement, which is why you got to handle the media, because immediately they said that she hated the gay folks, she hated the Muslims, she loves Assad, she loves all these foreign dictators. What is she thinking?
Family or our community, our state or our country is in a place where, let's say in an hour, a nuclear bomb or an attack will go off unless this information is found. I believe that if I were the president of the United States.
So if Tulsi Gabbard actually hates the Muslims, if she's anti-Muslim, why would she go to a Muslims for Peace conference? She went and told the Muslims for Peace conference that God is love. She told the Muslims for Peace conference, she told these peaceful Muslims that we all can live in brotherhood and sisterhood. All the world's religions, Christianity, Hindu, Buddhism. She even mentioned atheist, secularist. So what kind of anti-Muslim is she? She's an anti-Muslim who goes and talks to the peaceful Muslims?
Life to God or not, because you can't force someone to love God. You can't force someone to love anyone.
And tells them that God is love and that you are welcome in this society. God, what a crazy anti-Muslim extremist she is. Oh man, what a bigot.
One who does not love does not know God, because God is love.
While Tulsi Gabbard was at this Muslims for Peace conference, not only did she say that Muslims can be her brothers and sisters too, but she also said Muslim. She called them Muslims, which I think gives it more respect. So what is this anti-Muslim person doing, sitting there showing respect for the Muslims? And then in the very beginning of the speech, she says, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Oh yeah, the people that hate the Muslims, they go around saying Assalamu alaikum to everybody. Yeah, that's so anti-Muslim. Get the fuck out of here. Jesus fucking Christ.
At a very personal level, in truly having aloha. And from a girl who is now 19, but who when she was 14 years old, these rebels that people say we should continue supporting, they came and kidnapped her. They raped her multiple times. They killed her father in cold blood right in front of her and her little brother. All she is asking for, literally.
So where does this come from? Where are people saying that she doesn't like the Muslims? Well, she believes in the war on terror. She believes that terror as a tactic is bullshit. And it is. Terror as a tactic is bullshit. You're going to attack a bunch of innocent civilians for political reasons. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit.
Really is for the United States to stop supporting these so-called rebel groups, stop supporting these terrorists so that the Syrian people can begin to try to get back to some semblance of normalcy in their lives.
Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat of Hawaii, thank you so much. We appreciate your coming and telling us this story.
Thanks, Jake.
So because Tulsi Gabbard says sometimes Muslims are terrorists, sometimes there's some fundamentalist Muslims that take their religious terrorism ideology to a whole nother level, and it's bullshit.
She's for cutting defense spending, and she's been for a very long time. She's in favor of repealing the Patriot Act. She voted that way.
So because Tulsi Gabbard is opposed to terrorism, because Tulsi Gabbard sees that there are some terrorists that come from Islam, there's Christian terrorists, there's Buddhist terrorists, there's lots of terrorists, and religious terrorism is bullshit. But she told the Muslims for Peace conference all of her views, that God is love, that Muslims can live in the brotherhood and sisterhood of the United States of America, that even atheists are welcome in this country. And she got many cheers. She got many claps. She got many She got a standing ovation at the end.
But he has many beautiful and wonderful names. God is one, no matter what we call him, no matter how we worship him.
So that's an anti-Muslim. An anti-Muslim is going to give a well-thought-out, very nuanced speech to the peaceful Muslims. So an anti-Muslim person is going to go talk to the Muslims, to the peaceful Muslims, with very nuanced and complicated, intelligent. She had a very intelligent perspective. And she got many claps, she got many cheers, and she got a standing ovation at the end of this Muslim event. I've never known any person who hates the Muslims that would go do something like that.
She's an early supporter of Medicare for All, which is important. I think we do need to make distinctions between the politicians who, after hearing the public backlash,
The other criticism that they say that she's anti-Muslim, not just because she's against religious terrorism, but also because she supports the Prime Minister of India. Most of the people of India apparently support this guy, Narendra Modi. So Narendra Modi is the current Prime Minister of India, the largest democracy in the world. The leader, the Prime Minister of that country is Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi.
Not going to fight more interventionist regime change wars that cost our country precious lives and resources and increase the suffering of those in the countries we attack.
So Narendra Modi could hate the Muslims. The Prime Minister of India could hate he's Hindu, so I don't know much about the Hindus, to be honest with you. Now, Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India for quite some time, and because she likes him, or because she wanted to talk to him, right, they went ahead and said that she's an Assad lover. She doesn't love Assad. She loves America, and she's opposed to the war. That's what these, that's Goebbels, right? All you gotta do is declare the war and then denounce everybody for their lack of patriotism. So they're going to sit there and say that she hates the Muslims because she likes this guy, Narendra Modi. Now, Narendra Modi is loved in India. Now, there is some problems with him.
Honor this inherent freedom of all people that is given to us by God. So-called religious terrorism is born from an exclusivist ideology that says my faith is the only legitimate faith, and that everyone who does not believe as I believe is inferior and must be converted, enslaved, or killed.
So there are several things that were listed about this Narendra Modi. One thing is he used to be part of some group as a child, as a youth, that was associated with killing Gandhi. He didn't kill Gandhi, but he was part of some association later on. And so that's the KKK, right? So as a kid, he was an anti-Gandhi KKK. So he's part of a hate group as a youth. And it's disgusting. I don't know if he's denounced it yet, but he didn't kill Gandhi, and he was only part of this group as a youth. So it's, concerning. But what has his policies been as Prime Minister?
Aloha. In my past, I said and believed things that were wrong. And worse, they were very hurtful to people in the LGBTQ community and to their loved ones.
The other alarming thing about this Narendra Modi is the 2002 anti-Muslim riots, so-called Gujarat riots. So the Gujarat riots in India, Narendra Modi was the chief minister. He was an enabler. He wasn't an advocate. He didn't stop the riots from happening when a lot of people said that he had the power to do so. So let's assume all those are true. Let's assume he was part of that group as a kid. Let's assume he didn't do anything about this 2002 anti-Muslim riots, both of which are pretty disgusting. But 2002, this is the only proof that you got that he doesn't like the Muslims, something that he did 17 years ago. So that's the only proof that you got, 17 years ago. I feel like if he hates the Muslims, if he don't like Muslims, there would have been something recently. What has he done as Prime Minister? Has he been discriminatory against Muslims as Prime Minister?
Christ and the Prophet Muhammad as messengers of God, messengers of love, messengers of peace and universal brotherhood.
And I'll just say this real quickly. All fucking religion is all bullshit, and you're stupid for believing in fucking religion. And here's some shit about the Muslims. The Muhammad, he is a pedophile. He had sex with children. He had sex with everybody, but, with a bunch of, 20 different women, but he was having sex with children. That's their prophet. That's Islam's prophet. So a bunch of people, we're going to go, so religion is bullshit. Religion is bullshit. He was also a killer. He was also a murderer. So compared to Jesus Christ, Jesus said, let the children come to me, but he never said, let's have sex with them like Muhammad did. Muhammad's a pedophile. And if that's the central prophet in all of Islam, well, Islam has a problem.
This is the essence of God. God is love, and central to love is freedom. Here, our country's founding fathers invoked our inalienable God-given right to life and liberty and enshrined that right of freedom of religion in our U.S. Constitution.
The last thing that I want to mention, right, she loves Muslims. She loves peaceful, loving Muslims. When she sees peaceful Muslims, she sees peaceful Christians, she sees peaceful Hindu, she loves it. And I love peace too. So, you know what? If all of us can get along, religion is so dumb though. God, it's so stupid.
Recognizing that everyone must be free to follow his or her conscience without fear of persecution. This right is something that comes from God, bestowed on every one of us, no matter who we are or where we're from, and which no one has the right or ability to take away.
The last thing that I want to mention is that's so specific. How specific is that criticism? She hates the Muslims because she likes a guy over in India. She likes some dude in India, and that dude in India, when he was a kid, he was part of some crazy group, and then that kid also didn't stop a riot from happening. I mean, that's your criticism on Tulsi Gabbard? God, that just means you know too much. You know too much about Tulsi Gabbard. It's not that she, attacked the Muslims. She wasn't part of the riots. She hasn't said any anti-Muslim bullshit. She hasn't said any she's not an anti-Muslim bigot. She hasn't discriminated against them or racist. She hasn't done shit. She hasn't done shit to the Muslim people.
Groups. This is a war against terrorists who've declared war on America, and it's a war that we must win. The second is the counterproductive war to overthrow the government of Assad, an illegal war that Congress has not authorized and which must end.
But because Tulsi happens to like some dude who a lot of people in India, the largest democracy of the world, love, so she happens to support or like or wanted to talk to some dude, we want diplomacy. I can't stand Kim Jong-un, but if you turn an enemy into a friend, don't you lose him as an enemy? So diplomacy works. Diplomacy is smart. It's not the only option, but it should be an option.
Namaste. Assalamu alaikum.
So her criticism on, Islam, the Islamic terrorism, because she says that some of the people, of Islam, some of the terrorists are Islamic and Islamic, their religion has some influence on their terrorism because of those associations, because she makes that connection. Get the fuck out of here. It's just like people saying that she was anti-gay. As a kid, when she was in her father's house, these same pricks would sit there and say that she has to listen to Daddy. And if she didn't listen to Daddy, who was a bigot, so thanks a lot, Mike Gabbard. You might have just tanked your daughter's presidential ambitions with your homophobic bigotry. Is anybody saying shit to Mike Gabbard? So Mike Gabbard gets unimpeded, right? Hell, Hawaii probably embraces Mike Gabbard. His hatred to the homophobic bigots, they might be the biggest homophobes in the world.
Aloha.
So her voting record is pro-gay. Her legislative voting record, which is the most important thing, her policy, when it comes to how is she going to legislate, she has been pro-gay people, pro-gay marriage. Somebody said it was her beliefs that, she had public and private beliefs, but she said that she believed things that were wrong. So, keep pressing on her about that. But as far as I'm concerned, her legislative record, her personal beliefs, she loves the gays. She stood up for gay folks. What more do you want? She bucked her father, bucked her family, bucked her culture. And she's been standing up for gay folks longer than Obama, longer than Hillary. And Donald, with the vice president that hates gay folks, and y'all don't say shit about him, right? He has a vice president that fucking hates the gay folks. So if you're loving Donald Trump and hating Tulsi,
Namaste. Assalamu alaikum.
then you're an asshole. You're an asshole. And a hypocrite. And I don't even want to talk to you.